when you're building a great relationship with God, the relationship with your family, your siblings, and the people in relationship with your church and your leadership team and all that type of thing, they have some strains, but let me tell you, there's health in that. And there's growth in that, and there's development in that relationship. There's progression in the relationship that you've got in life. And you know, when you start to trust each other and you start to build a relationship that's strong, then guess what ends up happening? It opens favor for you to be with a person in a greater level of relationship and a greater authority. And when we're with God, it's so important this. See, Adam and Eve, look at this. Adam and Eve, there is a cycle. And I call it the Adam and Eve cycle. And the Adam and Eve cycle is this. God's word and truth always bring consequences of strength and disobedience. Either or one or the other. When we're in relationship with God and there's an open communication with God with our lives, we as men discover the very destiny, the very reality, the very reason why God called us. And see, when we're distant from God, we move in the Adam and Eve syndrome. That means when sin comes into our life or things come over us, we just neglect to put barriers. We neglect to put boundaries. We neglect to put things into our life that will hold us away from the problems of life. And so what Adam did, Adam was entrusted with the responsibility of the planet. He was given a wife, Eve. He asked for her. Come on. Did some of you men ask for your wife? I hope so. I hope you didn't just drift into her life and assume that one day she was going to fall in love with Romeo. Come on. What'd you do? Put aftershave on? Put your best hairdo on? Wore your tightest pants or something? And wore your Manchester United? I don't know what you did, but you must have tried to put some impression on. Did you put your ego on? See, when I saw my wife, I just introduced her to granite and rock. That's granite and that's rock. And she just fell in love with the muscles. Wow. Come on. Say that, God. I just want to say that. Okay. And you know, and sometimes we are, aren't we? We try to impress our wives because we're attracted to them, we love them. Sometimes in God we've got to be the same, huh? No, God, look at granite and rock, you know, and impress you. I want to be the best I can be for you. You know, sometimes we can't ignore that in God. Sometimes we need to build a relationship that discovers God's word and truth in our lives. Because guess what? If we have the Adam and Eve syndrome, that means we just allow the wife to make decisions. Well, you know, she ate the fruit. It's the woman you gave me. It's this problem I asked for. And God says, hang on, didn't you ask for her? Yes, I did. But you gave it to me. It's your responsibility. And you know, sometimes in our lives, we have wives like that. You know, we've got them in our lives and say, it's a woman you give me, God, or, you know, there's some problem. And we don't, as men, take responsibility and have authority in our homes. And sometimes we need to say sorry. I know it's hard for us to say, but, you know, Elton John sang it. Sorry seems to be the hardest word. And honestly, it is for us blokes at home. When you say sorry to your wife, when you say things to your wife, and she starts to see there's integrity in you, man alive, she's not going to race off with Romeo, mate. She's not taking off with Russell Crowe. Come on. She's not going to every movie that a Nicolas Cage has. Okay, she just sees Nicolas Cage in the house, mate. She got you. Oh, she got you, I tell you. And you're going to know it, okay? When she really knows that you are walking in that whole area of authority. So don't throw it away. Don't give it up. Authority means a couple of things, and I just want to share some of these just to help us. Authority means power to influence. Okay, power to influence. Meaning you have abilities given and entrusted to you. That's what it is. You have abilities given and empowered by God and entrusted to you by God. The woman was made for man. That's what she was made for. And the way you love her, the way you bring her through, the way you work with her to be the best person that she can be, not she can help you to be the best person you can be. but it's a partnership when we're helping each other. There's something wonderful happens in that whole area because, you know, the abilities that God gives me are quite different than the abilities that God's given Carole. And I'm just absolutely astounded and thankful that the things that Carole's got in her life, I haven't got. And I like them. My Carole's very, very relational, okay? You will not be able to stand in a room by yourself with Carole, because if you are, she's going, and you don't want to, and you try to ignore her, you're in trouble, because she's going to come straight up to you and she's going to chalk up a relationship with you, because she doesn't like being ignored. She likes that. She's powerfully relationally, and that brings influence. And you know, sometimes us guys, we're islands, aren't we? We like our own time. I do. Come on, I've got a place at home where I like to lock myself away with God and pray and blow the rest of the world, and everything else can go past. And I'd love to just stay there the rest of my life. But sometimes I've got to come out, or my wife will leave. Okay? And sometimes we're islands, aren't we, guys? We like to do things in our, we got it all sorted out, miss, bang, bang, bang. I got this sorted out, and that sorted out, and this sorted out. And she says, if he's got it all sorted out, I'm not contributing to this relationship, so now I've got sorted nothing out. I've got an absolute volcano waiting to erupt. And we walk into it all the time. We think we're smart, us blokes. We think we've all got it worked out, but we're dumbos. We are. Some of us continue to follow Liverpool year after year and wear shirts, and they get beaten every time. It's ridiculous. They should change. Come on. Get on the winning team. Okay. Persons in command. So authority means a power to influence. Authority also means a person in command. You know, a person in command is this. A person who has authority has commands. He has responsibilities. And we all have them. Come on. Dr. Kumar is responsible. Okay, if someone comes to his table and they've had a heart attack, he can do two things. Hold their nose and mouth shut, or he can try to save them, okay? Hopefully he tries to save them. He's responsible. But you know what I mean? We have decisions. We've got to make them in our lives all the time. And as men, we've got to do that. Listen, when you make a right decision and it brings something really good to the house, okay? When you're making a right decision in your home, and that decision is proven to be good, your wife starts going, ooh, I like that. But when you make bad decisions all the time, guess what? Your wife's just going to stand up and take over. Because she can't entrust you. She's frightened that you're going to make wrong decisions and cause troubles within the home constantly. So we need to work on that. We need to understand that the persons in command are you and I. We need to take responsibility, not shrink back. Just like sometimes we're islands, sometimes us guys would rather just sit on the lounge and let the wife do the whole thing. And guys, that's not going to work, okay? Because she runs to the end of it and finds out she hasn't got the authority to do it, and then starts worrying. And then it all comes back on you, doesn't it? Come on. I'm talking to men in this room. You got marriages, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, man, alive, because I can see it. You know what? To exercise dominion. That's another thing. The third point in authority means that sometimes we need to exercise dominion, which is a command, to reveal and communicate higher priorities. Come on, guys. In our house, Joshua said this, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Come on. That's the first priority of the Mclaughlan house. We're not serving Woolworths. We're not serving some boss. We're not serving the government. We're serving God, okay, with our lives. That's it. And there's no compromise in that whatsoever at our home, okay? That's what we're serving. If people don't like that, they're going to get uncomfortable in our home and they can't stay there. And I don't try to keep the peace by making everyone feel comfortable. I've got to be a man that exercises dominion. I've got to be. I've been trusted by God to be the father of my house. And I need to make wise decisions, regardless of what they do with them. I've got to make them, and I've got to stand on them, whether people think they're popular or they aren't. Now, I'm a very flexible person. I mean this. You might not think I am, but I'm a very flexible person. I listen to reason.